DNA에 저장된 정보가 이를 현실로 만드는 열쇠라면 어떨까요? 과학자들은 귀하의 가장 가치 있는 데이터인 DNA를 연구함으로써 인류에 알려진 모든 질병에 맞서 싸울 수 있는 잠재성을 가지고 있음을 발견했습니다. 기존 데이터베이스는 비효율적인 의학 치료에 수십억 달러를 낭비하므로 대다수 인종 집단을 대표하지 않습니다. 한편 유전자 검사 회사는 귀하의 고유 유전자 코드에 저장된 정보로 어마어마한 수익을 이룹니다. 귀하의 게놈 통제권을 다시 얻으십시오. 그리고 안전한 분산형 데이터베이스의 암호 열쇠를 사용하여 데이터를 화폐로 주주하십시오. 슈범을 소개해드립니다. 최첨단 유전체학 및 블록체인 기술을 사용합니다. 귀하의 데이터를 보호하고 의학 치료를 윤리적으로 지원하기 위해 설계된 스마트 컨트랙트를 사용하여 임상기관 및 연구기관과 직접 연결하십시오. 내일 귀하의 게놈 데이터는 수천 개의 희귀병과 복합병을 위한 치료를 발견할 수 있습니다. 개인 맞춤형 건강 관리를 위한 새로운 시대로 나아가는 우리와 함께 하십시오.
There we are. Hello, welcome to our presentation. First of all, I'm Axel, the CEO of Shivom, and this is Henry, our Chief Innovation Officer. So first of all, let me thank you for having us here, and we are very honored to present our project to you and to be in this wonderful city. So thank you for that. At the beginning, let me introduce myself a little bit and the background how Shivom came to life. So I'm a geneticist. I worked in several countries around the globe in the past and had my own research group working on complex diseases, for example, Alzheimer's, schizophrenia, or cancer. A few years ago, I started to work in the field of bioinformatics, and the company I was working for, together we developed what we call like genomics platforms or precision medicine platforms for the pharmaceutical industry. At that time I noticed there's a huge problem in the healthcare ecosystem all around the world, and especially for pharmaceutical companies. And this was to getting access to genomic data and other healthcare data of patients. Because nowadays regulations for sharing and accessing private, very sensitive healthcare information, it's complicated, especially when you want to share data across borders with researchers in other countries. So a few years ago, when I realized that this is such an immense problem, I started to look into blockchain as a solution to address these bottlenecks. I wrote a book about this, so I studied it and I wrote a book about it. It was called the Blockchain and Healthcare Strategy Guide. And to my surprise, it was very successful. So people from all over the world started contacting me, the patients pharmaceutical companies, even governments, and they wanted to have advice on blockchain technology and how to use it to revolutionize healthcare systems. So slowly but surely, this idea of building an enterprise built on those technologies came to mind. And together with my co-founders, we developed a business model and we came up with Shivom, which is the next era of genomics and precision medicine. So, what is precision medicine? Here we are dealing with a new way of treating diseases and preventing diseases for each individual. That means targeting drugs or therapies according to an individual genome, because we are all very different. Every individual is different, and especially if we're talking about different ethnicities, we find that our genome differs at a lot of points in our DNA sequence, and we react differently to drugs or to lifestyle, to nutrients, to our diet. And we have to figure out for each individual, on a personal level, how we can develop novel therapeutics. And this is what we want to do. The first step, building a massive global genomics database, and in the long run, a huge global healthcare vertical. Okay, let's start with genomics. So basically the science of our DNA in our cells. We aim at building the largest genomics platform in the world, where people can store and access their own genomic information on our platform, in addition with other health records, in a safe way, and that people are able to own their own data. Because nowadays, a lot of companies, you may know it from the recent news, they tend to just sell the private data of their customers that are on their platforms, like in the internet platforms, to third parties, to other companies, for a lot of money, often without giving, waiting for consent of the data owner. Like usually, you are not asked if they want to share your data or not. They just do it. And we think this is not fair. So on our platform, you own your data. And only you manage who can access this data. For example, you want to share your private genomic data with your physician in case you want to have a better treatment. You may want to share it with the pharmaceutical industry to support drug research. But then, of course, they should pay for it, right? And this can be done with our platform. But you can also say, no, I don't want this, I'm not interested in it. I want to keep it private, and I want only to use my genomic information to improve my well-being, my health, and that of my family. And you are not forced to share your information with anyone. For example, you don't want to have your health insurance or your government have access to your genomic data, right? And this is what we do. This is what we provide. People have full control over who has access to the data. And you can proactively manage your health. Nowadays, a lot of healthcare ecosystems, healthcare systems all over the world are broken. There are problems with the patient safety, with centralized data storage. What does it mean? Usually, healthcare providers